Hi, I'm Denyce Graves, and I have spent most of my life as an opera singer and as an educator. The opera world knows me for my portrayals of two of opera's greatest, baddest femme fatales, Carmen and Delilah. But what you may not know is that as much as I love to burn up the stage, I also love to burn in the kitchen. I love to cook. So for me, singing and cooking reach people in the same way that is satisfying and that connects us. So I've blended together these two and created a talk show, a cooking show, and a performing platform, all stirred up together. And I know that you guys are the king of the puns.
This is a great way to get your aggressions out.
Hell yeah.
Can't burn the garlic.
You cannot burn the garlic. This format for Cooking with Denyce isn't like any other show.
I am in my orchard and in my garden.
CWD is reimagining presenting performing artists, classical artists, to the popular culture, to inclusive communities, and to the world.
Stood up, I just said,
yes! The performing stage, pouring the tea with our stories.
Oh, it's easy. The first thing you do is you put the clams in last. You know?
That's so awesome! Distinctive recipes from all over the world.
Tout le monde.
Ciao, amore. Ciao, mio grande amore. Plus life tips and ingredients for success. Allow nothing to impede whatever it is that your heart can dream of.
Nothing.
They want nothing to do with you.
The way Billie Eilish sings, I should have talked to me for 3 days. You know, I mean, it's like, really?
Well, it's pretty impressive what you did do.
This is war now, Laura. Where's the sugar go? Oh my. It so happened. Oh. This is so good. My goal is to serve and to nourish you inside and out. So join us. Let's get cooking. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our season 2 and an extravaganza of openers. We're in a new kitchen. We have a new theme song and lots of new and exciting guests for our season 2. CWD is on location in the city of Bridges. That's right, Pittsburgh, PA. We're here in the lovely home of Pittsburgh Opera and Symphony Board members, Mark and Diana Chazot. Thank you so much for this invitation and for this creative idea. Today's episode fulfills a silent auction prize of Cooking with Denyce offered by the Pittsburgh Opera during their holiday season fundraiser. Mark and Diana have a gorgeous home, and I do not want to leave. I do not want to leave this kitchen. I'm honored to be here as a guest and to share this time with you. Your hospitality and generosity are greatly appreciated. Thank you, Mark and Diana. I also want to thank Christopher Hahn of the Pittsburgh Opera for dreaming this up and for this fantastic artistic and collaborative friendship that we share. And I look forward to returning to Pittsburgh again and again and again and again. So thank you, Christopher Hahn and the Pittsburgh Opera team. All right, and to our invited guests today, we have a live audience with us. Thank you. Some of you we met the other night at the Duquesne Club. It's been a wonderfully productive trip here, and I'm delighted to be in your company again and to speak about Mary Cardwell Dawson and the National Opera House and the Denyce Graves Foundation and our ideas for the two together as we share fun with our cooking show today with you. Well, I am so excited because we're doing something that we've not done before. We have 6 guests joining us for this CWD episode. the ladies of Aisle 4. Aisle 4. What's Aisle 4, right? Well, we've got 6 dynamic divas from the Metropolitan Opera Chorus with us here today who make up the 4th aisle of the chorus room in the Met's rehearsal space. They are Danielle, Abby, Laura, Alex, Meredith, and April. Welcome, and thank you, Aisle 4 ladies. Thank you, Aisle 4 ladies. There you are. It's so great to see you guys. Oh my goodness. Thank you for being here. What joy this is. How gorgeous this is for all of you to shoot this episode and to delight our live Pittsburgh audience. Can we just go around and you can introduce yourself and share with us how long you've been with the Metropolitan Opera Ensemble member artists? We're curious to know some of the narratives that will make its way forward this afternoon because you must have some fantastic stories.
I'll start by saying, well, I will begin my first year of retirement after 25 years of service. And I met these wonderful women that you see here, probably in the last, I suspect in the last decade that I spent there at the theater. And they have become like the sisters that I did not have. And we have many, many stories to share. But I'm looking forward to this next phase of my life. But it's been wonderful being there with them all this time.
There's Danielle in her kitchen.
Hi. So this is actually my mom's kitchen because of quarantine. I'm coming to live with my mom for a while. And this is I've had 6 seasons in the Metropolitan Opera Chorus. And I can't tell you enough how much of a life-changing experience it has been to be a member of that family. I miss them so much, especially my girls from Aisle 4. It's amazing. It's an amazing experience, and I hope we get back to work.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Laura, and I've been in the chorus 20 years. I had 3 years of extra chorus, so really almost 24 years now since we haven't worked in a year. But I love these ladies. These are my girls, and we hang out together in our aisle and take care of each other.
Hello, I'm Abby, and I'm the newbie. I just joined the chorus in 2018, and it was a total dream come true, life-changing moment to get that call. And from day one, Aisle 4 has been there to help me and guide me. There's so much to learn when you join the chorus, not just the huge amount of music, but also just how to get around the opera house and how the rehearsal schedule works and where you go for your costume fitting. And they've always been there to help me navigate that. And I cannot wait to get back in the opera house with them again.
Hi, thank you so much, Denyce, for having us. And April, thank you for setting it up. I'm Alex. I'm a Canadian who's had the honor and privilege of living and working in this beautiful country, and most especially at the most magnificent opera house in the world, the Metropolitan Opera, with my wonderful ladies and some of the greatest performers in the world. Denyce is one of them for the last 26 years. So I'm very blessed to be there. It's one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Meredith. I've been at part of the chorus now at the Met for 9 seasons. And I am so incredibly grateful that I was handpicked by what I lovingly refer to as my second mother, April, to put me on Aisle 4. Because as Abby alluded to, we have created a family amongst the family of musicians that we have in the chorus. And these women are not only dynamic divas, but they are your best friends. They will get your back no matter what happens. And I feel so grateful to be there and to be here today. Thank you so much, Denyce, for having us.
I am delighted. You are all such amazing artists, and I performed in many places for sure, but no place have I ever been have there been such amazing vocal artists as are in the Metropolitan Opera Ensemble. Let me just say a few things and we'll get going with the show. We're proud that Cooking with Denyce is in its 2nd season. Yay! We had so much fun last season, and thanks to everyone and their support, which makes season 2 possible. So why are we in Pittsburgh? Why am I in this new kitchen? Why am I at Mark and Diana's home? Well, our focus here is on Mary Cardwell Dawson and the National Negro Opera Company here in Pittsburgh. Mary Cardwell Dawson was herself a singer and a pianist and actually a conductor and later an impresario and stage director. But she went to New England Conservatory. She graduated in 1925 and set out to make a name for herself in the business. But at that time, racism really played a part and paralyzed any chance of her having a career. So she decided that she would create her own opera house, and she did that right here in Pittsburgh, PA, and the building is still standing today. And that's why we're here. We're here because the Denyce Graves Foundation, because the wonderful woman, Janae Solomon, who maybe you'll meet later on, who actually purchased the building, because Pittsburgh Opera, because people like the National Urban League, because the city of Pittsburgh, we're all banding together to help preserve and save this wonderful monumental landmark. What Mary Cardwell Dawson did was she gave jobs to just hundreds of artists, of singers, of chorus members, like the Aisle Forward ladies, who are all soloists in their own right, conductors, designers, lighting designers, everybody that it takes to run a theater. In addition to that, there was a music school. She taught some over 500-600 kids to play the piano, to play the violin, to play the flute.
Wow.
And the rich legacy of these two are rooted here in the Homewood section, and we are encouraged and inspired by her. It was this great lady who brought all of this forth, who gave jobs to these hundreds of artists, this great lady who taught kids in the Homewood section to play instruments, who taught languages and stage direction, and who provided a safe haven to musical giants like Duke Ellington and Lena Horne and sports figures like Roberto Clemente, and who left this gift to Pittsburgh and to the world, this mighty woman who ensured the future of Robert McFerrin, of Edward Boatner. Her efforts paved the way for one of my greatest heroes, Leontine Price, for Grace Bumbry, Martina Arroyo, for Simon Estes, George Shirley, and who brought us all here together today, and who spoke to Janae Solomon and Miriam White that they steward this property and pick up where she left off to see that this goes forward. Mary Cardwell Dawson did this. Her efforts alone lifted the soul of Pittsburgh and lifts the soul of our nation.
Mary Lucinda Cardwell Dawson. Who was she?
A trailblazer,
an organizer,
an activist, a classically trained musician,
an impresario, and regarded the First Lady of Opera.
Mary Cardwell Dawson.
Mary Cardwell Dawson.
And what did she do? She founded, she funded, she invested in men and women just like us.
Just like us.
Just like us.
She created the nation's largest opera house, founded for African American musicians,
to make their voices, their instruments, and their talents heard.
This place, the National Negro Opera Company, provided opportunities for gifted African American performers while challenging racist ideas of the early 20th century.
Why is this important? Today, there are many classically trained African American performers like me.
Like me.
Like me.
Like me.
Just like me.
Who want to restore the legacy of Mary Cardwell Dawson and the National Negro Opera Company that still stands today in Pittsburgh.
From times past to eternity, the ancestors speak to us through their accomplishments,
their triumphs, their tragedies.
The life of Mary Cardwell Dawson has contributed to my experience performing at the San Francisco Opera, the Paris Opera Comique, the Los Angeles Opera,
the Metropolitan Opera, at La Scala, at the Royal Opera House,
the Opera Company of Boston, the Santa Fe Opera,
Carnegie Hall, at the Musikverein in Vienna,
and on concert stages and in symphony orchestras around the world.
So we need you.
We need you.
We need you.
Your friends, your networks to join the mission.
to restore the National Negro Opera House to its original grandeur.
We want to immortalize the legacy and to preserve the history that took place in this monument for performers past
and restore its structure and grounds for performers present. Go to www.nationaloperahouse.org/donate. Please give now. Give now.
Give now.
Give now.
Please give now.
That steward, Janae Solomon, is here today with her daughter in our studio audience. Maybe you'll be able to meet her later. Her instinct and curiosity is key to any of us being able to have learned what we know now about Mary Cardwell Dawson. So thank you, Janae. So, aisle forward, ladies, what time is it? It's lunchtime, baby. Let's get cooking. Let's start this thing. Let's do this thing. Miss Danielle. So we're going to do today a stir fry, right? A very sort of comforting and satisfying dish that's quick and easy to do when you're between rehearsals or between performances, right? And you've got to come home and feed your families in between, performances or rehearsals. So where does this recipe come from, Miss Danielle?
Well, since I've had a little bit more time at home with my kids, I've had more time to come up with more healthy options that are quick and easy for when we go back to work. And I discovered this plant-based noodle called a shirataki pasta. And it's called Miracle Noodle. And I like it because there's 1 carb, 0 sugars, a little bit of fiber. There's basically nothing in it, not even flavor. It just has the texture of noodles. But it will take on to whatever flavor that you cook with, which I need to say that this is the best flavor that I've cooked with in a long time. This is actually your spice blend.
Yay! Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know that proceeds from that goes to Feed America. So you're doing such a good thing. It's a delicious thing for you and for your families, but you're also doing something good for the world. So thank you so much for that.
Hello, everyone. So this week's first giveaway is a question. And whoever emails, the first 3 people who email with the correct answer will be sent 2 bottles of the Opera Blend of Cooking with Denyce. So the question is, what is aisle 4? What is aisle 4? The first 3 people to email the correct answer will be sent 2 bottles of the Opera Blend. Please include your name and address. Thanks so much and good luck.
Well, it truly is delicious. And it's I don't use any sauce. I don't use any other seasonings for this particular dish because it all just tastes like this amazing spice blend.
All right.
I just, preheat the saute pan a little bit, get it to where when you put it on there, it's going to sizzle for the chicken. And I've already got my water boiling because this pasta, I just prepare it to the directions on the back of the package. You only boil it for 2 minutes. And I'm almost at a boil in my pot, but that's kind of last second. I do all the meat and veggies first because they take longer to cook. And by the way, not a professional cook at all. Get ready.
No, absolutely. We're all home cooks. During my travels all over the world, I would go to the kitchens of the Italian nonnas and the French, women. And in between rehearsals and in between on my days off, that's what I would do when I was away on engagements, was go to their kitchens and learn, of course, at the knee of my mother. So that's how it happened over here. But you got to do what you got to do because you know what it's like when you're traveling and if you're on tour. You're gonna have to learn to take care of yourself. So I'm sorry, Danielle. Get going. I just put about 2 teaspoons of oil in my wok. I'm using a wok today because the heat radiates evenly, and I love a wok. So for a stir fry. So I'm just doing that, and I'm gonna do some of the broccoli and stuff first. But you tell me what you're doing, Danielle, so I can keep up with you.
I like to cook up my chicken first and put it to the side.
Okay.
But you can do your broccoli first. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm going to test it. The oil, this is just something I do. I don't know if anybody else does it. But I get my hand wet and I go, and it hasn't made a sound, so it's not ready.
Okay.
I'm not ready to put my chicken yet. And
Very good.
these are the vegetables I chose. Some Asian-inspired stir-fry ingredients.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Snap peas. Some carrots. I julienned them best I could. Some thicker, some skinnier, shorter, fatter, whatever. Some water chestnuts and broccoli.
Beautiful. Who doesn't? And that's good and healthy for you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm going to go with some broccoli and some shiitake mushrooms, I think.
Oh, yum.
And maybe a little bit of pepper. But, all right. I think my heat is
Mine sizzle.
going over here.
Got some sizzle.
You got some sizzle?
I got some sizzle. Just a little.
All right. Party on. Here we go. And so, ladies, did they talk to you about a game that they wanted to play?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know how you feel about that. You know, my husband says, you know how it is when you're in the room with singers and somebody says a word and then everybody starts singing a song. And so we do this sometimes in my house where my kids will give me a word and I can nearly all the time can find, you know, a song that has that word in it or that leads with that song. Would lead with that word. So we're going to play that today with you guys, if you don't mind, while we're doing this. Is that okay, Danielle?
Of course, go for it. Let's do it.
All right. So let me just see. I'll give one of the words I'll take here from and let's see if you can find something. Oh, I don't know about that one. That was really hard, I think.
Yeah, do something easy.
Sorry, whoever did that. Let's see. That's hard too. Nozzle.
Nozzle?
Nozzle?
Nozzle for a bottle?
Nozzle. Figure that one out.
A song with the word nozzle in it?
Can we make one up?
Right. Yeah,
All
there's this really obscure song from a long time ago.
Oh, that's good. That looks very good. Okay, so that was really hard. And the other one was hard too. Okay, let's see. Kneecap.
Denise, you're killing us.
They're killing us. What are they killing us?
Kneecaps and toes, kneecaps and
Ah, there you go.
Going with head and shoulders, kneecaps and toes, kneecaps and toes.
Very good. Oh, this one is easy.
You're a winner.
Well done. Molto brava. Molto brava. Somebody else wrote the word smile. That's easy.
Although your heart is
breaking. Right.
Yes.
That's a great.
There it is. Very good.
Song.
That's a good one.
Right.
All right. Let me see. Oh, duh. Love.
Love. Love, love.
Excellent, Danielle.
Pretty good. Pretty good. And then let me see what else we have here. Baby doll.
Baby doll.
Baby doll.
I know baby love.
Baby love works too.
Right?
You know, so one of the things that we were saying that someone posed a question and asked, what's the difference between a choir and a chorus? Is there a difference for you?
Acting. Characters.
I feel like a choir is really meant for universities and for professional oratorios, and those would be considered, I guess, a choir. Whereas an opera chorus or a chorus in general would encompass all of the artists that you would need to be able to successfully put on an opera. And like Danielle said, the acting piece is also incorporated into the chorus.
Each person is an individual. Usually, each person is a character in a play. and it's just set to music. And so there are costumes, and some of our favorite operas are the ones that were productions by Franco Zeffirelli. And he would literally draw a picture of each person and ask us to be this person, and each person had their character. He would ask us to get into character and have a backstory to each of our personalities, and that's what really brought the stage to life. He's an awesome director.
So, ladies, I know that each one of you are soloists. I mean, I know April certainly very well, but I know that you are each soloist. And what do you feel like the role of the chorus in the opera is?
My dad sang with the New Orleans Opera as a chorister, even though he was a professional French horn player. And he had a director named Anini who used to direct at the Met way back in the old days. And he said that the chorus was supposed to provide a beautiful carpet for the soloist to walk on.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. I love that. So Danielle, where's your process here? Because I've got a little bit of veggies going, stirring and frying, right? And I put in a little bit of I put in some marinated chicken and some garlic and some ginger and a little vegetable oil I put in there and some chili.
I decided to steam the broccoli over my boiling water.
Oh, that's a good idea.
My mom has this cool little steamer thing.
It's beautiful.
Very good.
Right, but
Good idea.
soften it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I took my chicken, which was already chopped up, and added more of your spice blend to the other side, so it's nice. And the only thing I usually do is brine my chicken, but I forgot to. It was still frozen when I woke up this morning. I said, time to thaw out the chicken.
So you do a brine?
Yeah, I soak it in salt water you can do it overnight, but it might kind of firm up the chicken depending on how much you're going to do and how much water. But
right.
You can do 2 8-ounce chicken breasts in a bowl of water and some salt, kosher salt or sea salt. I don't remember which one we use. But you just let it soak for a couple of hours, and it really retains the juiciness of the chicken when you cook it, especially when it's whole. But since it's going to be cut up and in a stir fry, it's not going to lose too much of its juiciness that it won't lose already from being chopped up before you cook it, Spread it and brine it. This is going to have so much flavor. Sometimes I add a little bit of salt at the end, but that's it.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I do sometimes add a sauce to my stir fry, and I make a little bit of a slurry of equal parts water and cornstarch. If I put in a little sauce to mix that all up together, to just give it a little bit of to create a little bit of a sauce, and I sometimes hit that with a little bit of lime too.
Oh yeah, and what's great about this recipe is that you can really cater it to your individual preferences.
Exactly.
Stir fry.
So I wonder if you ladies could share some of your funny stories that have happened at the opera.
Well, there's nothing funnier than watching somebody leave the aisle in a great big hoop dress with a bra attached to the back of it that they can't see. I can't even tell you how funny that is. It's happened so many times because and it may not even be your bra. You could be going past somebody. You could be going past somebody's chair and pick it up on your way out the door.
Or things with the horses. Those are my favorite when the horses are in Aida. Because you just never know what's going to happen. And some of them know the music very well. Those horses do. And they think they're ready to go. And they're not supposed to.
I wonder, had any of you ever heard of Mary Cardwell Dawson and the National Negro Opera Company and what she did in her life?
Well, I have to say that the name was familiar to me. We have a Pittsburgh young woman in the chorus. She was in the Porgy chorus, Chantel Brazil.
Have I met her? Has she been part of the chorus?
She was in the Porgy chorus, and she's a native Pittsburghian.
Right.
Yeah, and that's how I got my information about the house that they were trying to save.
Right, and you knew about that, because it's incredible. And so, do you mean her?
Yes, I mean her. Oh, baby girl.
How is everybody? I miss you guys tremendously. You guys are absolutely. I love and miss you so much.
Miss you.
So glad to see you.
We're so glad you're there. And we're glad to be a part of this. This fundraising is so important.
It really is.
It's so important, historically and for your city.
Yes, I'm grateful to be a part of it. I'm grateful for especially Denyce Graves, Janae Solomon, the owner. I didn't really know about it until a couple of years ago myself. My relative introduced me to the Opera House with Mary Cardwell Dawson, and she was the one who told me about this opera house. And when people who are part of the National Opera House asked me to help out because I'm from Pittsburgh, that was when I had no choice but to help. This is too important. So I and my friend Candace Burgess came up with the magnificent idea of creating an opera challenge in which we invited you guys, Denyce Graves, to participate because it's so important to keep the legacy of Madame Dawson alive.
The second giveaway for the Aisle 4 episode. Question is, which opera company did I meet April Haynes? Which opera company did I meet April Haynes? The first 3 people to email at cookingwithdenyce@gmail.com the correct answer will be sent a CWD Cooking with Denyce t-shirt. Which opera company did I meet April Haynes? Please remember to include your name and mailing address. Good luck.
Because we have a live audience with us here in the other room, I was getting that together really quickly to give people something to eat because it's lunchtime already. I mean,
oh, but thank you, Denyce. I didn't know you had my baby girl there. That's so sweet.
I was laughing, I was giggling when you asked that. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
You know what I did? I took a little bit of broccoli and I started stir frying it with about 2 teaspoons of oil, and then I put in I didn't put in any salt because it can be really, really, really salty. I did put in a sauce. I marinated the chicken for a couple of days. I put in some red chili flakes. I made a slurry. I put some scallions and some sherry in it. And I put some of those wonderful noodles. But Danielle, so I felt a little bit of a pressure because I've got people in the other room, so I jumped ahead a little bit. But tell me where you are in the process.
No, that's okay. I kind of jumped ahead as well. As my chicken started to brown, I added a little bit of white vinegar to deglaze the pan, and it made the chicken look really nice. It almost looks like it's in a sauce, but it's not. It's just your seasoning and a little bit of the vinegar to deglaze the pan. And I'm just sauteing my vegetables. I added a little bit more oil to the same pan to collect the flavors from the chicken. And it's just as the vegetables get a little more soft, I'm going to reincorporate the chicken. My water's boiling. I'm about to boil my noodles for 2 minutes and then drain them. And then you saute them in a separate pan to firm them up a little bit. Here's what they look like. They look like this.
Yeah, cool.
Here's one.
Nice.
It's wiggly.
They're really good.
Yum.
Smell a little fishy. It's shirataki. It's a yam.
I love them.
And it just, I don't know, it's gelatinous looking, but it tastes really good. So I'm going to add it to the water.
And Danielle, when did you decide to make the decision? I mean, did you go to what was your musical path?
I went, we have a mutual friend. I started at the Governor's School for the Arts in Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah, sure.
I saw sing Carmen. You were my first Carmen, and you spoke to my high school class after you performed in the evening. You came and spoke to us in the little side room afterwards, and I was like, oh, yes, Denyce Graves, I love her. She's Carmen.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I went there with Ryan Speedo Green, with Will Lieberman, with who else? I don't want to forget anybody. Oh gosh, with Freddie Valentine. Yeah, I pretty much knew a lot of your Porgy cast.
Holy moly! I didn't. You all were in the same class together? I had no idea.
Yeah.
I remember when you came to make your Metropolitan Opera debut, and you looked around in the chorus, and all of a sudden there was a face that you knew. And I told you, I said, I'm following you up 95, my dear. You were so shocked to see me.
That was such an incredible time. I remember it very, very, very well. And, I've told this story a lot, but my mother organized, like 250 people to come by bus from Washington, D.C. Yeah. And after I sang, like, Carmen's first aria, somebody go, girl, go Denyce! And I said, oh, my God, they're here. They're here in the house. She brought them all.
Well, Bill Clinton and Hillary were there also.
Oh, sure.
Cheer you on, remember?
Sure. Oh, sure. I remember that.
That was fabulous, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. But
that was my Met debut as well. So I always tell people that the president came to my debut at the Met.
How about that? How about that? I love that. That's fantastic. So normally, what is you guys' schedule like? What is your schedule like normally when the world is back? And how rigorous is that schedule that you have?
It's really rigorous. I think we start most days at around 10 a.m. and we will go almost straight through until 5 with different rehearsals. Small breaks here and there, maybe a 30-minute or a 15-minute in between, but so we'll go from 10 until 5 on our heaviest days, and then we'll have like a 2-hour break before we're back and in the house getting in costume and ready for the show that either starts at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. So, and then we, depending upon the length of the show, we may not finish until 11:30 or 12 o'clock, or we could have a lucky night where we're out by 9:30, which is really lovely, like a bohème. But most of the time, and then that kind of schedule can be that way for weeks when we're at the beginning of the season because we're prepping for so many different things. And so it's rigorous is a very good definition of what that is.
Okay, I've got some more going here. I did a different kind of flavor with this one this time. We both use chicken. I wanted to use shrimp, but as I said, we have an invited audience, and sometimes people have allergies, so I just stayed away from that. Yeah. But yes, we and I was marinating the chicken, so it should be nice and flavorful.
It looks wonderful.
Protein, so it's gonna be shrimp, chicken, steak, tofu, whatever you want, anything.
I know you're using shirataki noodles, and I did use some. I tried the recipe the other day. Your recipe the other day. I used some tofu shirataki noodles. That was different. It breaks down a little too much. The tofu shirataki breaks down a little bit, but these hold their integrity more. And I'm going to introduce you to one of my beautiful students. Simone, come here. You know what she's doing? She's making a little drink to accompany the stir fry today.
Thing to do. Hello, ladies. It's so nice to see you. Hi. How are you? So my favorite thing to do with every meal is have a specialty cocktail that goes along with it. We all have our random side jobs that go along with our performance, and one of mine was craft cocktailing. So I'm going to share one of my favorite little bartending secrets with you guys. So I'm going to do a little bit of a sugar rim here, and usually when you do a sugar rim, we do like a lime on the edge, but I like to use a little bit of agave or honey, and that really helps the sugar or salt, whatever you're using, really stick to the rim. So I'm gonna roll that in the agave, and I'm gonna do my sugar here as well. And doing that really makes it nice and clean, and we don't get any of like the drip down the side.
Beautiful.
So the cocktail that I made today is a sake grapefruit cocktail, which is going to be 3 parts grapefruit juice, fresh squeezed, and 1 part sake. So whatever sake you prefer, you can do that. You can make a big batch of it and do 3 cups and 1 cup, or 3 ounces and 1 ounce. So I have that batched up really well for everybody.
We brought coffee.
Here is, oh, I lost my time, but here is our signature cocktail.
Fabulous.
Well,
we have cups, right?
Yeah.
We brought our coffee.
You can try it out at home as well.
A beautiful talent too, by the way. A beautiful talent. In season 1, she was on the cooking show. She also works with us at the foundation, and been working on this campaign to raise awareness about Mary Cardwell Dawson and the National Negro Opera Company. But she's a beautiful talent and a lovely person. And you know, April, when you started talking about your girls, that's the same thing that I call my girls. I call them my girls too, because
we love them. Yeah.
They're my family. They're in my heart, and they're absolutely my family. So I understand that. But this is a name. This is a name to be looking out for someday. She has a business. She was very, like Mary Cardwell Dawson, she herself is very enterprising and has created a company called Black Princess Parties. You want to tell them about that, Simone?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to set this down. So my company, Black Princess Parties DMV, I'm hoping to offer representation in the world of Disney. So this idea came about a year ago, and I was auditioning for other local Princess Party companies, but they weren't hiring a Tiana at the time. And I felt as if I was qualified to play all the princesses. I could sing, I can do the dance, I can interact with kids, but I don't have the traditional look. So I decided to form my own company and perform as all the princesses. So I recently got to do a really fun concert package party with a lovely little girl and perform as Elsa and sing all of those amazing fun songs.
That's great. That's lovely. That's
so it's a wonderful opportunity to not only perform, but for my little inner Simone, get to, relive those moments and relive those movies and experiences, and then share that with children as well.
But Simone did exactly what Mary Cardwell Dawson did, and she filled in that gap. So Mary Cardwell Dawson couldn't get hired as a singer, so she decided that I'm going to create my own opera company. And what she did was she left this gift to the world, and she brought so many other singers along with her. And do you guys know that before Marian Anderson, she sang at the Metropolitan Opera?
Cool.
Yes, she did. While she was not hired there as an artist, she was able to rent out the theater. So she brought over 500 singers from her organization, from the National Opera House,
with her?
And they performed a piece called Awanga by Clarence Cameron White, who is an African-American violinist, but also composer. And the reason that was because they were not allowed to do, in that time, standard repertoire. So they had to have something created specifically for that moment. Yeah. The point that I'm making is that, Simone and so many other like her, what we are doing is sort of, embodying the Mary Cardwell. So much of our inspiration is tied here to Pittsburgh and to Mary Cardwell Dawson. It was sort of the impetus also, too, for creating this foundation, because we looked at one of the things that happened during the pandemic is that all of a sudden everybody's calendars were erased right away, right? And we were deemed non-essential.
That's right.
And right. And so it's like, what are we going to do now? And I was in touch with my students who were just starting out to make their living as artists, and all of a sudden there was no work. And so the question was, what do we do? What do we do now? And so one of the things that we're going to be doing with our foundation is empowering singers to find their own platforms that go parallel along with their careers, so that you can have, like Mary Cardwell Dawson. She was a singer, and she was a pianist, and she was an impresario, and she was a stage director, and she was this linguist, and she ran the most successful opera company of that time, and run by a woman, and back in that time. So she's a real incredible hero. So we want to raise awareness about her and the National Negro Opera House, which is now called the National Opera House, here in Pittsburgh, in the Homewood section, that is still standing, to have this monumental structure, to have this historical site, to bring it into the future, to bring it into prominence, to restore and pick up where Mary Cardwell Dawson left off, and to restore and rebuild a new opera company, because this is part of American history, right? This was a gift that she gave to so many people, and we all know that kids and everybody learns better with music. Everybody learns better with the arts a part of their life. Everything that you see is art. Everything that's in front of your eyes right now is art. And that is essential. One of the things that we say at the Denyce Graves Foundation is that the soul of the nation is recognized by its commitment to its arts, to the arts. That's what makes us human beings, right? That's what makes us be able to relate to each other. That's what's so important, in the world. And so we want to really, as Janae Solomon said, scream from the mountaintops about the great heroine that Mary Cardwell Dawson was, to galvanize the pity of Pittsburgh. They have received us with so much enthusiasm and willingness. We've got here today in the audience people from the National Urban League and from the Jewish Healthcare Center, and wonderful dynamic people who are committed in their support to seeing that we restore, rebuild this wonderful home and return it back to the community, to the gem that it is, so that we can do all sorts of special programming, so that the kids can once again come and do music classes, so that we can have a young artist program there and name them after some of the great hidden figures like Mary Cardwell Dawson, or like Ciceretta Jones, or like Elizabeth Greenfield, or some of these names that came along way before Marian Anderson. Right. And to have these fellows come into the newly built National Negro Opera Company and go out into the community and do meet and greets, or hold lectures there, or hold Liederabends there, hold jazz evenings there, and revitalize the entire area. So it's mighty work, but we've got a fantastic group of people in front of us who have pledged their support and their energy, and we're just so grateful. And we're so grateful for you ladies here today for joining us and for sharing a little bit about what happens behind the scenes, because I think people see a lot of times the soloists up front and we shine the spotlight on the soloist, but the fact is that it takes all of us. It's a real collaborative effort, right, to make it happen, to put on a spectacular performance. It takes everybody. It really does take a village. So we want to thank you all so much. How did it all turn out, Danielle? I would love to be there to be able to taste it.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Beautiful. Look at all the colors.
That is perfection.
Final.
It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. I cannot wait to see you all. I'm sending you hugs and kisses until I can deliver them in person. Thank each one of you so very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's been so much fun to cook with the Aisle 4 Divas and to share with all of you. CWD is a great pleasure for me to create and to produce. I want to thank my team. That's Anna, Ronald, Justin, Gloria, Kit, Simone, Tammy, Izzy, Andy, Lauren, everyone here at the Pittsburgh Opera who's helped us. Thank you so very much for your help. I enthusiastically invite you to join us in this exciting project. that we're playing here, the role that we're playing here in Pittsburgh with all of our wonderful newfound friends here in the city of Pittsburgh. I want to thank the ladies once more and wish them a soon return to making music for people at the Metropolitan Opera. I'm Denyce Graves, and this is Cooking with Denyce. Thank you so very much, everybody. Thank you.